Class 7 Maths, Exercise 3.3, Question number 1. Use the bar graph to answer the following questions. Question number A. Which is the most popular pet? Question number B. How many students have dog as a pet? So in this question, a bar graph is given. The bar graph shows pet animals. Pet animals are what? Dogs, cats, rabbits, hamsters and others. These what? These on x-axis. So on y-axis, they have represented students. That means number of students who own pets. So for question number A, dogs are owned by 8 students. Whereas cats are owned by what? 10 students. Rabbits are owned by 2 students. Hamsters. See, number of students owned hamsters is between 4 and 6. So this would be 5. And others are between 2 and 4. That means 3 students who own other pets. Now for question number 1, which is the most popular pet? Most popular pet would be the pet which is owned by most number of students. So 10 students is the highest one. So cats is the most popular pet because it is owned by 10 students, which is the highest in given data. Similarly, for question number B, how many students have dog as pet? So this is dog. So dog is owned by 8 students. How many students have dog as pet is 8 students have dog as pet. Class 7 Maths, Exercise 3.3, Question number 2. Read the bar graph which shows the number of books sold by a bookstore during 5 consecutive years and answer the following questions. So in the question, a bar graph is given and that bar graph shows the number of books sold by a bookstore during 5 consecutive years. So 5 consecutive years are 1989, 1990, 1991, 1992 and 1993. So these are what years which is on x-axis. And in y-axis, they have given number of books. So they are given in hundreds. That means 1 unit is equal to 100 books. So 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 and 600. Now from this bar graph, we are supposed to answer 4 questions. So question number 1. About how many books were sold in 1989, 1990 and 1992? That means from bar graph, we should find the number of books that were sold in the year 1989, 1990 and 1992. So if you observe carefully, 1989 we get here, whereas 1990 we get here. Similarly, 1992 we get here. That means all these bar graphs are not ended directly at units place. That means whether 100, 200, 300, 400 or 500, but between them. So if you find question number 2, in which year were about 475 books sold and about 225 books sold? That means each unit which has 100 books is divided in 4 parts. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Like each part has 25, 50, 75, 100. That means each part has 25 books. If you take year 1989, so this books is what? More than half of 100 and 200. So if this is 100, this would be what? 150. So this is what? More than 150. That means this would be 175. Similarly, if you take the year 1990, this is also above the half of 400 to 500. So half of 400 to 500 is what? 450. And this is above 450, that is 475. Similarly, if you take 1992, this is what? This is less than half of 200 and 300. So if this is half of 200 and 300, this would be 250. And less than half is what? 225. For 1989, we get 175. That means 175 books were sold in the year 1989. And whereas in 1990, 475 are sold. Whereas in 1992, 225 books are sold. So in question number 1, about how many books were sold in 1989, answer is 175. And 1990, answer is 475. whereas 1992 answer is 225. Now let us find number of books sold in the years 1991 and 1993. If you take 1991, it is ended here. That means number of books sold is what? 300. Whereas for 1993, it is ended here. That means this is more than half of 500 to 600. So half of 500 to 600 is what? 550. So this is more than 550 but less than 600. So it would be 575. Now question number 2 is, in which year were about 475 books sold? So 475 books we got in the year 1990. So answer for this is 1990. And for the question about 225 books sold, answer is what? 1992. 475 books in 1990, 225 books in 1992. Question number 3. In which years were fewer than 250 books sold? That means we should find the years where less than 250 books were sold. So it is given 250. So in 1989, 175 books are sold which are less than 250. Whereas in 1990, 475 books are sold which are more than 250. 1991, 300 books are sold which are more than 250. But in 1992, 225 books are sold which are less than 250. But in 1993, 575 books are sold which are more than 250. So for question number 3, answer is 1989 and 1992. In these years, fewer than 250 books were sold. Question number 4. Can you explain how you would estimate the number of books sold in 1989? See, in 1989, bar graph is what? It is more than half of 100 to 200 but less than 200. That means half of 100 200 is what? 150. So it is more than 150 but less than 200. So thus it would be 175 approximately. That way we could estimate number of books sold in 1989.